President.
Aditya is an incredibly talented, spirited, passionate young man. His wisdom, perspective, and voice have left a tremendous legacy on our school that will last for many, many years. I am so proud to call him to the lectern. Aditya Prabhakar.
What's up? Can everyone hear me? We good? I bet. Hello, class of 2022, family, friends, admin, and staff. Some of you may know me, and a lot of you probably don't. My name is Aditya Prabhakar, and never in a million years did I expect to give a speech at graduation. I always thought it would be the smartest kid in the building or a supermodel, and I'm sorry to disappoint, but I am unfortunately no Albert Einstein or Paul Walker. I'm just Aditya. Now, before I start, I would like to thank a few people that have helped me throughout high school. Mrs. Standevan, Dr. Cantrell, Mrs. Bardwaj, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Mrs. Watkins, and Miss Howell for being such pushing factors in my scholastic journey. And shout out Miss Lang for saving my physics grade last week. All of my family for pushing me, specifically my lovely parents and brother for nagging me every day to get this speech out of the way and get my grades up. I love you guys. The wonderful student council officer team, from my day one Vice President Kennedy to my rival Cassie. I can never forget you guys. And most of all, I can never forget my friends who pushed me through my slumps and kept me up at all times while somehow managing to piss me off every day. I love you guys dearly. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I wrote this speech a day before it was actually due and got yelled at by my dad. Thank you, Dad. And wondered, what can I say to make this as engaging as possible while also trying to convey a message? So I decided to take a trip down memory lane and summarize my 4 years at Lambert. Now, when putting these past 4 years on a timeline, this is a general gist of what I got. My freshman year was tough, really tough. I remember walking into school on my first day, walking on the bus with neon blue headphones on and a shirt that said swag, like right in the middle of it. It was crazy. 4 years ago, I thought this was the coolest fit you could wear to school. Today, I still do. I would wear it again, honestly. I walked into first period, slumped down in my seat, took out my phone, and started playing music. Unfortunately, my headphones were not connected, and the whole class heard me listening to Mo Bamba by Sheck West when Coach Leo was going over puberty and our bodies changing in the corner, so that was crazy. And I think that's a good enough summary of freshman year and how awkward we were, okay? Maybe not we, but definitely me. My sophomore year was an absolute blur. I feel like we all started to understand what high school was really about going into our first semester. We figured out that to get good grades, you really have to put the work in, study, and finish your homework. And there's only one person who can do that, and that's you. Unless you pay someone to do that for you, but I highly advise against that. The rates are super high right now. Now, we started to finally sink into the regular lifestyle of high schoolers. But on the lovely day of March 13th, I was so excited to get a week off from Miss Bardwaj's chem class, so excited. But little did my ignorant self know that we were about to undergo a pandemic and literally be a part of history. Many of us went through extremely tough times and revelations and came out of the lockdown as different people, but we made it. And it's really cool how we're the only high school class that can say we had a totally normal year of high school, half a normal year of high school, totally messed up year of high school, and I honestly don't know what to classify senior year as. We are truly strong, resilient, and fought against all odds to get here and receive our diplomas. And for that, I think we deserve a round of applause. All right, so let's move on to junior year. Junior year was supposedly the hardest academic year, but thank God for Quizlet. We made friendships with so many people, and the pandemic strengthened some bonds and broke others, but we made it. It's at this point the college and future planning stress began to hit, and people were starting to figure out what they wanted to do with their lives. Seeing some of my closest friends flourish into talented musicians, debaters, athletes, scientists, and just a bunch of amazing things was so cool, but it was so scary at the same time. I could see the future Bach, the future Newton, or the future Will Smith in front of me, but I couldn't see it in myself. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt this way. At least I hope so. This clouded vision took me through junior year and into senior year. Senior year. We finally made it, the last page in the chapter. We're the big dogs that know the school like the back of our hand. We know which bathrooms to avoid and which lunchtimes were the best. And while I did become a bit of a Lambert High School aficionado, I still did not know what to do with my life. But it's at this point that I realized it was okay. Isaac Newton never planned to discover gravity. He literally just let an apple fall on his head. Life happens. Not everything has to be planned, which is a big lesson I think we all learned with these past 4 years. That's why, if you're like me and you're still unsure of what to do with your life, don't fret. At some point, an apple will fall on our heads. Lambert houses some of the brightest and finest minds in the nation, which is why I have no doubt that each of us will succeed with whatever path we take in the future. And while I may not see some of you after graduation, I wish you the best of luck. And just know that if your time hasn't already come, it will come. Now, I may not be the next Einstein or Paul Walker, but I am Aditya. And each of you in this graduating class is your own main character, as cringy as that sounds. Stop planning your success around the expectation of others, and go do the things that make you happy. Travel the world, start a startup, ask that guy or girl out. Comparison is the theft of happiness. Life is too short to be hesitant and worry about impressing your friends or family all the time. So do what you do best and make yourself happy. With that said, class of 2022, thank you so much for letting me be your student body president, and I'll see you at the 10-year reunion.